Hi, I'm Alicia May, and this is Experience CTN, where we're going to learn more about CTN volunteers and producers who have supported community media over the past years. Today I'm here with Dee Henderson, who has been a community producer and volunteer since 2002. Hi Dee, thanks for joining us.
Hi Alicia, nice to see you again.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you hear about CTN?
You know, I was home, moved into Ann Arbor, and I was looking for something to do. And I did some research on television, and they said the best way to get started is to find a local community television station. So I looked up Ann Arbor, and that's how I found you guys. And I've been here ever since.
Yeah, since 2002.
I know, I didn't realize it was that long. That's a long time.
That's when our records show you got certified, so that's exciting.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the classes, so I'm kind of a geeky girl when it comes down to, hey, I want to know how things are made, so it just fit perfectly, and the people have been really nice, so it made things a lot easier why I'm staying so long.
Right. So tell me why you're interested in video.
I have a hobby of photography. I'm very comfortable with it, but I've never really dealt much with video. Big fan of television. So the next step to me would be going into film and taking a look at what it takes to be a very good producer, filmmaker, etc. Haven't made my film just yet, but have been scheduling it out. And volunteering has given me the experience and a comfort level to know that I can do it on my own.
Yeah, I know we talked a lot about through your volunteering, it's given you the confidence too to feel like you really can start your own show.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, because I don't want to give all of it away, could you tell us a little bit about the idea of your show or what we could expect from you?
We've got a couple of things. I just started a nonprofit in memory of my dad who passed away last year. And so there's a lot of things I like to do with kids, getting them started into their careers that may not be their traditional careers. My father was a musician. And so I'd like to be able to get kids involved in music. We know that funding's been cut a lot from the schools, and so being able to have a nonprofit and showcase some of the ideas, some of the new talent, some of the old talent, and just keep inspiration going for kids, whether it be in the arts and education. My father loves science, so we're just going to look from arts to technology to math to science. And look for various ways that we can get together and really strengthen our community through our kids.
That's so exciting. Congratulations on your nonprofit.
Thank you.
What was that process like, starting your own nonprofit?
It was very frightening to begin with. However, I did take an easy way out and used a service to kind of get things set up. But I do a lot of research. I'm kind of a geeky girl that way. So before I get into anything, I do a lot of reading, a lot of research to see if it's something I could do. And I've also worked with an organization here in Ann Arbor called New. And they were very helpful in getting me to feel comfortable with the process. So knowing that I have some resources has made it very easy. So I would say within a week I had the company, and then I think it took about 2 to 4 weeks for me to become a nonprofit.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And the New Center is super helpful. I know they're a great resource for people.
Hopefully I can do something on them.
Yeah, right.
It works for me when I can give back to the people who've given back to me.
Yeah, let's talk about you giving back. You volunteered hours. I mean, I started counting them and I stopped at 100. So over 100 hours
Has
of
it been
volunteer.
that much?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've done a lot of volunteer work. So let's talk about that. I mean, how did you get started volunteering on some of these shows?
Well, fortunately, I got to take some of the classes, and they were encouraging me to come in and just see what the process was, to get my feet wet. And I happened to come in and watch Jeanie on the Beat. And saw the process, saw her at a couple of events, and asked if she mind if I could kind of step in and take a look, and she invited me to join her crew, and that kind of started the process. I'd never seen anything like that before. So she let me get my feet wet, stage manager, got to meet some great artists, local and national, so it was pretty good.
Yeah. Great. Let's look at a clip from Jeanie on the Beat, and then we'll talk more about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blue, blue caravan winding down to the valley of lights. My true love is a man who would hold me for 10,000 nights in the wild. carry me down to him soon.
All right, that was awesome. So that was Jeanie on the Beat with Vienna Tang.
Yes.
And you guys actually did an interview, and that was a piece of her performance.
Yeah, she actually did quite an extensive performance, and we had a studio audience. And it was the first time that I had really heard her, and that was a foray into me actually starting to follow her because I thought she was really good. She was very personable. Had a little, I think, 3-year-old or 4-year-old who really wanted to meet her, and she took the time after our shoot to spend time with her and give her an autograph. So she was a really lovely person.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
So what's it like stage managing for our viewers who have no idea what it entails?
You know, it's not as difficult as one would, think. However, there are a lot of things that you're trying to make sure everyone is happy, everyone's settled. You want to make sure the audience is good. You want to make sure that the artists are good. You want to make sure the director and the producer are all set. You look for the particular details. On the Jeanie on the Beat, I would look and she says, hey, do I look okay? And so we would go and we readjust, fix the hair and everything. So just paying attention to detail was very key. I would say when you're on a series that is consistent, has several shows, looking back at it gives you an opportunity to really say, hey, maybe we should change the set, or making sure that everything is set just perfectly. So there is a lot of attention to detail to it, but there's also a lot of fun. It's great engaging with the crew as well, getting ideas. Most of the people that I've worked with have been really great and asked for feedback, what our thoughts were. Also learning opportunities, they would explain what they were doing, typical, it's not a typical shoot, so they may come up with ideas of, hey, let's make it a little more different and come up with different ideas. They're really engaged, So as a stage manager, you kind of get to see everything. I think that, not only that, you get to count people down, you get to see how that looks, when you look at big TV, looking at the cutaways, etc. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a very important role behind the scenes.
Yes. Yeah, it's not as easy. Once you get into it, yeah, you can get it. But, when you're trying to manage the countdown, queuing talent, making sure that we're wrapping up on time.
Right. Yeah.
Very important.
Very important. So another show you volunteered on was Washtenaw Medical Beat.
Yes.
With Dr. Alan Brown.
Yes.
And for that one, what was that like when you were volunteering for that?
As I said, I'm a geeky girl, so I kind of like to learn about everything. That's just my nature. I'm thinking, why am I here? To learn. And so, again, based on my volunteer time here, I seem to get recommended a lot. So I think I must be doing okay.
You are.
And Mr. Brown, Dr. Brown was actually really good to work with. To be able to learn a lot from the medical perspective was great. I even ran into one of my own doctors who came on the show, didn't know she was on there, hadn't seen her in a while because we had I had swapped doctors. So, learning about health, was a really great thing. It actually made me start thinking about my own, when you get to have the opportunity to watch, but also to be able to have contact with your own, guests and ask questions, maybe a little personal advice on the side is great. But that was really exciting, just to learn about the different processes it takes when you're in the medical community. It doesn't look as simple and easy. We know that doctors work hard and everything, but there's a lot more things going on just about, coming in to say, hey, how are you?
Right.
And fixing it. There's a lot of involvement in personal relationships. And having that interaction on television was really good, because I would imagine that if they were able to do that with their patients, then they should be good guests, and majority of the time they were.
Definitely. Do you remember what you did as a volunteer on one of those shows?
I think I was doing graphics.
Okay.
I think I did some stage managing.
Nice.
I think I ran a camera once.
Okay. Good.
Kind of a jack of all trades.
I was going to say, you've really done it all. You've been in the studio and then in the control room as well.
Yes.
I know I need to thank you, tons for your assistance on Catch 22.
Oh, that's a fun
That is a
show.
fun one. So that is a show I produce, and Dee's the graphics, and I couldn't have do it without you running the graphics. I mean, you walk in, I know you come right from work, and you walk in and you get right down to business, and you know how to change everything, and you keep me sane in there when I'm screwing it up.
Well, no, because you're so patient if I should happen to make a mistake. So I think we work really well together.
I think so too,
Yeah.
We actually have a clip from Catch 22 so our viewers kind of get an idea of what it is, and then we'll talk more about that.
Okay.
there's someone who's either myself or another younger attorney, they may be just graduating or a couple years out, if someone's looking to pivot into this sort of area and they don't have a very specific experience that might lend themselves to, maybe they were an accountant, so they might be able to work in your division, or maybe a certain particular experience, maybe they were a police officer and certain things would fit in certain types of criminal areas. How do people have a lot of discretion, or how do they kind of aim themselves within the organization?
It involves getting to know what the organization does, and so you can figure out if the skill set you have might fit. It also, a lot of people will do clerkships with judges, federal district court judges. And so if they do that, they're usually free. It's not like you're getting paid for them, but they're great experience for any period of time so that you see what's in front of you. You see the variety of cases that can be brought to see if it's something that you really want to do. But there are a lot of people who love being assistants, and so they will mentor people. They'll be involved in different bar organizations through the state or the ABA or the federal bar. And so there are ways to find people that you can connect with.
So Catch 22 Career Mentor Show, that was just one of our kind of pieces with the lawyers. But again, you were running all those graphics in the control room. So for our viewers at home who maybe have no idea what running graphics is like, could you explain that?
I don't even know. I know that there's a TriCaster. I know that there's an opportunity to be able to put the guest name in there. We'll always make sure that's spelled correctly. There may be some graphics that our guests bring to be able to show and tell. So that's good. We also want to, kind of plug the show. So we have a little button that we always want to make sure that we kind of give time to. And I want to acknowledge our not only our guests, but our hosts. So usually trying to keep in control of who's speaking, when they're speaking, when's a good time to plug a graphic, when's a good time to go and put the button up, etc. And I usually work really well, as you know, when we work together and say, hey, is this a good time? And so we kind of communicate, in the studio as well as, in the booth to talk about when the best time to do that is. It's
right, when to put up the graphics. Or
yeah.
I think another thing that it's so helpful to have a good graphics person is you run the record button, you actually hit that.
Yes,
which is
I think I remind
key.
people, I said, are we ready to record?
Right, I always appreciate
I think
that.
we started a couple times in a couple of shows and we forgot to hit the button, so we go back. So,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And then on top of that, you're also keeping time cues as the graphics person, and that is so critical.
Yes, yeah, that's where my math skills have to come into play. Not a fan of math, but it does keep your mind sharp.
Right, exactly.
We do have a little help sometimes with the clock. You just got to remember, is it going up or is it going down?
Right.
So,
Yep, exactly.
pretty much a good, fun, entertaining, keeps the mind sharp.
Right. So that's a good mix of you actually working in the studio versus the control room. I mean, I have a list here of a few other shows that I'll mention that you helped out on. Santa Satellite Network was one.
That was fun. When you're an adult, you don't really think about the Santa thing, so you kind of lose sight of Christmas and what it is, what the meaning of it is. You know the true meaning of it, but the spirit of it. And so to be able to pick up the phone and answer phone calls from the kids who were calling to speak to Santa was pretty awesome. I think as an adult, that's probably one of the coolest things I've done. And Santa and Mrs. Claus also were pretty cool to take a picture with. I think they even gave me what I wanted that year when I asked for it.
Perfect. So because
having
of
an
that,
end with Santa was pretty cool.
right, now you're a true believer.
I'm a believer.
Right. Another show that I had on my records was music videos for Mr. Lawrence.
Yes, I think I've only done one show, but that was just my nature. I wanted to get in there. I wanted to see what things were going, how things were coming along, what people did. I get an idea of what kind of shows were out there, just to kind of help me out in what I wanted to do. So that was pretty fun. He's a pretty good guy.
Cool.
Enjoyed him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
He's so
most
creative.
of the people are. Most
Yeah.
of the people are. I don't think I've had one negative experience.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah.
Actually, will you kind of segue into that next question of tell us, do you have a favorite memory of working on a show?
Working on a show, there are so many favorites. Well, I like Vienna Tang. I enjoy Catch 22. I love the head-to-head because it's actually quite comical. We're laughing as they're playing as well.
Yeah, and so for our viewers, Head to Head is a game show that Dee also runs the graphics for. Again, a lot of graphics for that because they get points,
Yes,
right?
yeah, we got to keep track of the points, especially on the screen so people know who's winning. So
Right.
it's pretty good. And the audience is participating as well as the contestants. They're pretty fired up.
Yeah.
a pretty comical group of people. It's good to laugh. After a hard day and you come in and volunteer, it's a good show to work on, just really lighthearted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so I think what is so cool about you volunteering is that you also work at a local cable company. So you
Yes.
really see the end goal of CTN, but you also see the way pre-production goal as well.
Yes, yes. Well, I won't say the pre-production. We work with getting the shows on the television. So I work with the guys who go out there and make sure that you get a picture on your screen.
Right.
But they also kind of talk about programming. We're affiliated with a television network as well. So, you know, if I have hopes on moving forward, I could probably use this as my experience to move into that television spot if I wanted to, you know, if I really wanted to move forward and, you know, head east, head west, you know,
Right.
this could really propel me because I'm already working with a cable company that has some good ties.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So why would you tell other people to support CTN?
I think for me personally, there are so many individuals who may not be able to afford to go to college, who may not be able to afford a trade. But if you want to get some experience to be able to put on a resume, to start your career, especially if you're interested in being in the creative aspect of life, you know, be it television or just arts or anything, engaging new people, you know, starting here at CTN where they give you the free classes if you're residents here or if you're working for a nonprofit to be able to spread your word, to be able to create your content, to develop it, to, you know, put it on is a great thing. I think a lot of people who may not have the opportunity to further their education, this is a good start. And I think being creative is really good for your happiness. So when you enjoy what you do, I think you profit.
Right.
Whether it be financially or just mentally, it's a great thing. So CTN is a great place to start just to be able to learn just the basics
Yeah.
from camera work to editing to creating your own show, to be directing your own show, whether it be here in the studio or on the other studio.
Right.
Pretty good.
So you mentioned how you're a hobby photographer. Do you think the training you got at CTN helped with that?
I think that, you know what I think? I think that it actually enhanced my understanding of photography because you're dealing with lighting, you know, you're dealing with your subjects, etc. It actually enhanced it a lot. I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Dee, I'm so excited to hear about your nonprofit. I can't wait to see what shows
I'll
you
be filming
produce.
something here.
Great. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoy working with you guys. It's great to be here.
Same here. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more on Experience CTN. In the meantime, why not come in and experience CTN for yourself? Email ctn@a2gov.org for more information and watch other CTN programs online at a2gov.org/watchctn. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at CTN Ann Arbor. I want to thank our crew, Matt Drake, Gage Shasani, Justin Wright, Phil Booz, and Jill Andrews. And I'm Alicia May, your host. We'll see you next time on Experience CTN. Thanks.